Chapter 6, Feral. Uh-oh. Elliot, don't you go feral on me. When morning came, I was strongly considering playing sick and staying home from school. I was so tired. And my body ached. My feet hurt. I just felt gross. Mom definitely was not having it, though. Her badgering was worse than being tired, so I finally dragged myself out of bed to get ready for school. I managed to make myself more or less presentable before heading downstairs.
Good morning, honey. You look like you're tired. Did you stay up reading again?
I shook my head as I grabbed my toast. I shoved it in my mouth as I went to get some coffee. She watched me silently as I poured myself a cup.
Nora?
I looked at her curiously. That was a rather serious tone of voice for her.
I was watching the news this morning. You know there were a couple of high school boys from the neighborhood who went missing.
Yeah, I heard.
They weren't from your school, but I thought you'd want to know. They found both of them. One yesterday and one this morning.
They found another one.
They're saying it was an accident of some kind. They apparently fell into that ravine in the woods. Still, another student went missing as well, and they haven't found her yet.
That ravine story was complete rubbish. I didn't know if the agency was responsible, but I assumed that was their cover-up. I tried to not think about last night. Or the blood on my shirt after I got back inside. Yeah. Elliot was definitely not involved. Well, for sure, but where'd the blood come from? That could have been my blood that somehow got on the middle of his back. Ugh.
Nora, I want you to stay out of the woods.
I was so lost in thought I almost didn't hear her. I glanced over, looking at her over the top of my mug. All right.
I mean it.
Mom, I got it. I will. It's not like I want to go out there either. I swallowed a bite of toast and took a sip of coffee. Where's Spencer?
I think he was going to leave early. Seems like the keys didn't go missing this morning, so he was ready faster than usual.
Really? Yes! It seemed like leaving a snack out for the little brownie spirit was helping. I made a mental note to keep doing that. It was tedious, but I guess if I thought of it as having a pet, it wouldn't be too bad. Aww. It's like having a really creepy, vindictive dog that no one else can see. Still, that was one less thing to worry about. Spencer's stressful mornings had been really taking a toll on me. I grabbed my coat and decided to head out a little early myself.
Why don't you wait inside for a bit? It's raining.
I know, but I just want some fresh air. I'll be fine.
Is Elliot from next door going to be waiting for you again?
Mom?
What? I'm just asking. I mean, he's been waiting for you, and then that date.
Which I said was not romantic.
I did see him holding your hand at the end of it, though.
Oh, no.
So... he's cute, right?
Ew, don't say it like that. It's creepy. She shoved my shoulder lightly, laughing.
Do you like him?
Well, the only one that is romantically inclined is this one. I didn't even get a chance to think of how to answer that. My face went flaming hot and I quickly tugged my jacket on as I turned away. I'm not answering that question.
Why not?
Because I don't know. We haven't even known each other that long.
You don't have to know each other long to know there's something there. I mean, he's a bit different than your usual friends, but you seem to like spending time with him. Right? Though I'm not going to be thrilled if he tries to talk you into dyeing your hair. Your hair is lovely the way it is.
That's because you're biased, Mom. Mom? He's not. We don't talk about that kind of thing.
Then what do you talk about every morning when he meets you out by the fence?
Nothing! It wasn't even untrue. But the way she was asking about it just made me feel weird. I'm going outside. Now! Flustered, I yanked the door open before she could ask me anything else. Ooh, it's my first time seeing rain. I mean, in this game. Obviously. I stepped outside and quickly shut the door behind me. Geez, Mom. Asking things like that. I knew that it just stemmed from the fact that I hadn't exactly done much going out with friends for the past 5 years, much less boyfriends. My going out with Elliot over the weekend had probably made her feel a bit hopeful. But still... I let out a strangled groan and quickly went down the front steps. The sight of Spencer's car in the driveway gave me a pause. He wasn't sitting in it, nor was he anywhere nearby. Not that I could see. Mom said he left early. Frowning, I started toward my usual spot, wondering where he was. I heard the voices long before I reached the end of the fence.
Look, I just want you to stay away.
There was a sinking feeling in my stomach when I heard that voice. That's Spencer. What's he doing? He was on the other side of the wood fence that separated our front yard from Elliot, so I couldn't see him. But that had to mean he was talking to...
I'm not going to do anything bad. We're just friends.
As expected. He was talking to Elliot. Interesting. Interesting developments. I mean, I assume he's telling Elliot to stay away from his sister. Which means I'm assuming Grant has somehow convinced him probably that Elliot's behind the murders, possibly, and he doesn't want his sister to get killed, maybe? Need more information. I sighed as I stood there with rain dripping in my eyes and wondered if I should eavesdrop or just butt into the conversation. Decisions. I don't want to hide, because I'm going to get caught. If I eavesdrop in the open, I'm definitely going to get caught. If I butt into the conversation, that's just going to stop things. I'm drawn towards eavesdropping in the open, because I was coming out here anyway. Right? I was coming out here anyway to wait for my ride, and I would normally talk to Elliot. But I'm not going to, like, interrupt the conversation. Elliot might see Nora. And then if Spencer turns around all accusatory, I could be like, I was just coming out to wait for my ride, dude. It's all you. I'm going to eavesdrop in the open. I don't like this one for sure. It's either one of these two. I just stood completely still, narrowing my eyes as I listened to them. What is Spencer doing? It was rude to eavesdrop, but I wanted to know where this conversation was going, so I'd know if I needed to potentially strangle my sibling in his sleep. Nora, that's his job. Or to stop leaving milk for the brownie so it would go back to tormenting him, as annoying as that would also be for me. I quietly moved a bit closer to the fence so I could more easily hear what they were saying.
Look, Nora and I are just friends, so you don't have anything to worry about.
You're not just friends! Don't give me that! You'll stay away if you know what's good for you.
Why is he being protective of me? That was unexpected, but it kind of made me happy, actually. But... what are you going to do, you shrimp? Especially against a vampire. I put a hand over my mouth to stifle the giggle.
I think Whether Nora and I spend time together is up to her. Even if I do like her, she gets to decide where things go.
Aw, Elliot, such a respectful boy. Wait, he does like me? Or is he just speaking hypothetically? Damn it, be clearer!
I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm not worried about that person.
Oh. My amusement evaporated as my heart dropped to my feet. Well, that makes more sense, I guess. But seriously, that person?
What does that mean? That person is your sister.
Thank you, Elliot.
I know you're sneaking around with her at night or in town. I don't know what you guys are up to. But I know she's hiding something, and I want to know what it is. You're just getting in the way.
So that's what this is about? My eye twitched slightly. I'm confused though, like, why would you warn him away, in romantic wise then? Wouldn't you just warn him away in general? Or did Elliot take it as, like, don't date my sister, and Spencer just meant stay away from her in general? But does that also mean Spencer... Because we've done 2 routes now, right? We've done Corvin's, we've done Danny's. In Corvin's, Spencer was highly suspicious that Nora was a changeling, and tried to kill her. He was convinced enough that he successfully killed her in some bad endings. But in Danny's route, he was, like, completely blindsided by the whole changeling thing. And I don't know in our journals. We have, like, a lot of vampire stuff. Like, lots of vampire stuff. There's some stuff on changelings. And then this is just, like, general cryptic stuff. But the way he's acting is like he knows his sister's been replaced. I mean, he's been suspicious of that for a long time anyway. I need more puzzle pieces. Twitchy eyes. He had finally crossed the line. He could be suspicious of me all he wanted, but this, not okay. I wrapped my hands tightly around my book bag, preparing to step around the fence and give my little brother a solid whack in the head with it. Ow! Maybe I'd finally knocked the delusions out of him. Becca would be proud. Spencer stepped around the fence at the same moment I tried to do the same, and we came face to face. Our eyes met. He stood in front of me for what felt like a long time, just staring unapologetically. He had to know that I'd just heard that conversation, but he didn't even bat an eye. He didn't say anything. No remorse, no guilt. And everything I thought I would say just evaporated. How could he look at me so coldly? How could he not care at all if I was mad at him? Suddenly, instead of anger, I just felt hurt. After a long, awkward moment, Spencer finally brushed past me and went to get in his car. Oh, there's gonna come a time, and this isn't there, where I'm gonna have to try to convince him that I'm actually his sister. It's all gonna, like, ride on whether Spencer believes me or not. Boy. Calling it now. Calling it now. I watched him go, staring at him accusingly the entire time he backed out of the driveway. He didn't look at me again. All our problems aside, if there was one person I hadn't expected to be stirring up things behind my back, it was him. I was just so angry, and he wasn't even around for me to yell at anymore. Well, Is it bad that... Is it... Am I a terrible person? I don't know if I want the answer to this. Am I a terrible person for reading through these options and being like,
You know, if I hit the fence in frustration, maybe I'll cut myself. And there'll be blood involved again. Heck it. Just in case.
As Spencer drove off, I hurled my book bag to the ground. I bit back the urge to shout every foul word that came to mind. Instead, I turned, and almost without thinking, I slammed my hand into the wooden fence. It shuddered under the impact, and pain lanced up my arm. I doubled over, holding my hand to my chest in agony. That did sound like a solid swack. Dumb idea. It wasn't as satisfying as it looked in movies. Damn it.
Nora?
And Elliot, of all people, had to be the one to see and hear all of that. From the ugliness between me and Spencer to my inability to handle it. I mean, I think you're allowed an outburst of emotion, girl. I hated it. All of it. I hated the rancid darkness eating away at me every time Spencer did something like this. I hated the way it spilled over in front of people I liked. Damn it. I'm sorry, Elliot. Could you just give me a minute? He didn't go away like I thought he would. Instead, I felt his warm hand suddenly wrap around mine, pulling them closer. Aww. I looked up at him, but he was staring down at my injured hand with a sad look on his face. He cupped it gently, running his hand over the broken and scraped up skin on my knuckles. Hey! My plan's working. Without saying anything, he brought it to his lips. My breath caught in my throat as Elliot kissed the scraped area. I felt his tongue briefly flicker against the injury and bit back a gasp. He's just trying to make it stop hurting. That's all. He raised his eyes, and I quickly looked away, biting my lip. My face had to be completely red. Elliot released my hand and looked away as well.
Sorry. I should have asked first.
No, it's okay. I didn't mind.
I'm sorry you heard that.
Yeah.
Don't take it too hard. I think he was just worried about you, you know? Like a big brother sort of thing.
That was a lie, and we both knew it. Spencer had pretty much said the opposite. Actually, he's younger than me by 2 minutes.
Oh.
And we both know he wasn't worried about me. I mean, he basically said so.
I guess so.
He really does think I'm a monster or something, huh? I tried to laugh, but it just wouldn't come out. My chin quivered, and I turned my back to him. This is the last time I let Spencer make me cry. The last time. Stupid! Aww. The shocked face. Thanks for the hug, boo. Hug in the rain. Appreciated. I suddenly felt the heat of Elliot's body against my back. He wrapped both arms around me and held me tightly, pressing his face to my damp hair. My heartbeat suddenly went into overdrive. What's he...
If that's really what he thinks, then he's wrong. Completely wrong. I mean, you're amazing, Nora. You're smart and funny. You're nice. You're crazy talented. You're beautiful.
That last one was a bit muffled in my hair, but I definitely heard it. If my face got any hotter, I was pretty sure my head would just explode. What do I do now? What if someone sees us? I'm not any of those things. I stumbled over the words, still trying to work out what was happening. He's so close. It wasn't like we hadn't been this close to each other before, but it was definitely different this time.
You are. You're all of them. The truth is, I like you. A lot, okay? I'm not going to stay away just because he says so.
I felt his hot breath against my skin as he moved his head down and rested his face near my neck.
I really like you.
It felt almost like his lips brushed against my skin. I shivered involuntarily and my breath caught in my throat. I didn't know what to say. My brain had kind of gone a bit mushy as I tried to process what was happening. He's confessing his feelings. That's what's happening. Wow, eloquent, Nora. Good job. I mean, understandable. Suddenly, Elliot released me and stepped back quickly.
Well, if you wanted me to stay away, I totally would. But that's your choice, not his. And,
I looked back at him and his face was completely red. Probably as red as mine. And he was back to being uncertain again. It was impossible to stay flustered for long when he was acting just as flustered as I felt. Ah, look at that smile. I reached up, moving his wet hair out of his eyes. I'm not going to tell you to stay away.
Really?
I flicked his forehead. Don't look so surprised, jeez.
Sorry.
I wasn't sure what to say. About what he just said, about any of this. My own feelings were suddenly a complete jumbled mess. Listen, I'm sorry you had to see me lose it like that.
Don't apologize. It's okay to be angry.
He bit his lip.
About what I just said, though. It's true. I really like you. But you don't have to respond to that yet. I mean, you don't have to at all, but at some point, maybe...
I knew what he was hoping for, but right then my head was so muddled I couldn't. Girl. I promise I'll give you a reply. Soon. Okay? Right now, I
understand.
I smiled gratefully. What a boy, though. This precious boy, Elliot. He's just, ugh, so good. So good. Thank you. I mean, for everything. You've done so much.
I don't deserve thanks for anything I've done. I haven't done that much.
Behind him, I saw Allie's car coming up the street. I hesitated, but reached for his hand, squeezing his cold fingers gently. It looks like my ride's here. I'll see you at school. I released his hand and started up the driveway, feeling a bit dazed. The day was barely getting started, and it was already a bit of an emotional roller coaster.
Hey!
Yeah?
Want me to bring you something from the murder?
Sure. I'll pay you for it today.
No, my treat.
I thought about arguing, but I suspected he wouldn't let me win anyway. I just nodded. Okay. See you. I waved and tried to put on a brave face as I went to meet Allie. She stopped just long enough for me to shake off the water and hop in. Welcome to autumn. Ha ha. It's been autumn for a while now. So, what's wrong? How do you always know? I'm your best friend. I know everything. That's kind of terrifying. No, it's not. It's amazing. Do you see me when I'm sleeping? And I know when you're awake. Usually because that's when I have to leave to come pick you up. Now spill. I let out a long, panicked groan and curled over, resting my head on my knees. Today is stupid. it's a stupid day. It started out stupid, then quickly turned even more stupid.
Wow. Sounds bad. I think. Or maybe just stupid. What on earth happened?
I bit my lip and reluctantly told her what had happened with Spencer, leaving out the, bit where Elliot hugged me, and the acknowledgement of the sneaking out at night. I wanted to tell her so badly, but now it wasn't just my secret. I wasn't sure I could convincingly mention it and not mention Elliot helping me. And I wasn't supposed to tell people he was lurking around outside after that stupid vampire curfew. I mean, you could just omit him and say, luckily, I've woken up and managed to get home each time, but it's, I'm getting further away and blah, 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 blah. Right? No? That would look so bad for him right now. I definitely didn't mention anything about confessions. Just thinking about it made my cheeks start burning. I was going to need an entire afternoon to analyze that and how it made me feel. Though I couldn't deny that, everything else aside, it kind of made me happy. Allie just sighed when I finished telling her everything Spencer had said.
I've been trying to give Spencer some space, and I've been taking it easy on him until now. But it's definitely time for me and him to have a little chat.
Please don't make it worse.
Listen, I know you like to think this is some kind of dramatic new development in your relationship, but you two have been fighting and bickering for as long as I've known you. I've been the mediator thousands of times, and I've bopped both of you on the head when you needed it, and he definitely needs it. He went too far. Someone has to talk to him. Someone he hopefully feels safe talking to. Tell me who else has even a chance of getting him to open up.
Probably no one. I'm not even sure you do anymore.
If Spencer doesn't want to listen, I'll make him listen. I can be very persuasive, I'll have you know. Besides...
She cracked her knuckles loudly. Alright. Oh man, not loud enough. Okay, hopefully it's loud enough.
He needs a little punishment for taking this long to get in touch with me.
Please keep both hands on the steering wheel.
Relax, I've got this driving thing down.
I'd be more convinced of that if you'd keep both hands on the steering wheel.
Anyway, I'd already been planning to sit down with him after Halloween regarding that whole potential for supernatural face stuff thing. You know, just to feel him up.
Surely you mean feel him out?
That's what I said.
You totally said up.
Did not!
You're so gross.
I meant out!
Well, say what you mean then. I don't want to hear your creepy Freudian slips about my brother. She snickered softly, but her face was really red. I rolled my eyes at her. Just don't cave in, even if he begs for mercy.
I'll be strong, I promise. No caving. I mean, seriously, what a creep. And I mean that in the most loving way possible.
I still can't fathom what you like about him. I'm understanding less and less every day, too. Well, that's a disturbing laugh.
I'll explain it to you one day, when you're older.
What does that even mean? You're like 2 weeks older than me. She gave me an adorably smug smile, and in spite of myself, I found myself smiling back. She never failed to cheer me up,